Back to the channel. Hope everything has been going well for you. Today I wanted to talk about the restaurant at the end of the universe. Now, if you've read the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, you may or may not know that that is the first in the series. There are five, I want to say, maybe six. No, 5 books. 5 books that Douglas Adams wrote, and there is actually one that was written posthumously. So that one is, I don't remember now. I can't think of it off the top of my head. And Another Thing. Yes. By the person who wrote wrote And Another Thing was the same author who wrote the Artemis Fowl series. I have no idea how to say his first name. Possibly Ian, and his last name is Colfer. Anyway, getting back to the restaurant at the end of the universe. Once again, if you are familiar with the series, you may know that Douglas Adams wrote an entire series, and that The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is just the first one. If you are unaware, or if you've only seen the movie, you may not know that there are more books in the series. So we have the same characters once again. We have Zaphod Beeblebrox, we have Arthur Dent, we have Ford Prefect, we have Trillian. They're all on the Heart of Gold, which is the spaceship that Zaphod Beeblebrox stole. So, if you remember back to the end of the first book, and again, if you haven't read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, this is kind of spoilers, because they were on the planet Magrathea, and they found out that that Earth was part of a computer, part of a program that the Magratheans created, so that once and for all the ultimate question to life, the universe, and everything could be discovered. They already knew the answer. The answer is 42. They just didn't know what question they were supposed to be asking. So, the planet Earth was created as part of the program as the computer with the program that was going to give them the answer. So they're actually on planet Magrathea, and they leave, and there's a lot eventually that ends up happening. It's kind of just makes the ridiculous even more ridiculous when we get into the restaurant at the end of the universe. Now, they leave Magrathea, and they're being hunted by Vogons. There's a psychiatrist that is paying the Vogons to hunt them down because he's afraid, and not just him, other psychiatrists have formed a collective and have hired the Vogons. But anyway, they're afraid that if they find out what the ultimate question is, that it will mean they're going to lose their livelihood, because everybody's going to know what the purpose of life is. So anyway, they're being chased by this Vogon ship, and Arthur is trying to explain to the shipboard computer that the stuff that he's serving him is almost but not quite entirely unlike tea. And so he's trying to explain to the computer how to make tea and what tea actually is. And because of that, the computer locks up, and it's unable to fight off the Vogon ship. And this is where it gets really bizarre, because Zaphod Beeblebrox decides to have a seance to call up his great-grandfather to rescue them. I mean, where did this even come from? So Zaphod gets transported to Ursa Minor Beta, which is the office of the the publisher of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And everyone else is stuck on this depowered ship because of what Arthur did. Now, Zaphod starts looking for the editor of the guide, and his staff insists that he's on an intergalactic cruise. And yeah, there's a planet that has the Shu event horizon, which means that its entire economy has collapsed to the point where it can only be the only enterprise it can sustain is Shu stores. It has the total perspective vortex, which means that it's a device that if you stare into it, it shows you how minuscule you are compared to the universe, and people go crazy because of it. Zaphod is forced to undergo the procedure, and instead it shows him how great he is and how important he is to the rest of the universe. So Zaphod has a number of adventures at this point, and he ends up back with the rest of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy cast, if you will, and they find themselves at the restaurant at the end of the universe. This restaurant gives you a front row seat to the end of the universe, and it's suspended in time, and you make a reservation. It doesn't matter when you exist, and when your reservation comes up, a portal opens, you go through, and you're in the restaurant, and you dine, watch the end of the universe, and then you're transported back to your original time. Instead, the Hitchhiker's Guide crew, they steal a spaceship. They steal a spaceship that belongs to a band, and the band is called Disaster Area. The band is known for having the loudest sound in the universe, and they steal their spaceship that at the end of their concert crashes into the sun and causes solar flares that sync to their music. So yeah, it's not good for the crew. Thing is I'm not sure exactly how far to take this, because there's so much that happens in the restaurant at the end of the universe. As I said, this is where the ridiculous gets even more ridiculous. So with the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, you had Ford saving Arthur from being destroyed when the Vogon constructor fleet came to make the bypass through planet Earth and destroyed it. And then they ended up with Zaphod Beeblebrox and Trillian on board the Heart of Gold, going to Magrathea to find out, the ultimate question to life, the universe, and everything. And this just doesn't have that same continuity. There's so many things that are going on, and there's so many just weird things that are going on, like Zaphod Beeblebrox having a seance to summon his grandfather to rescue them. The reason that Zaphod is able to withstand the total perspective vortex is not exactly what you think until later in the story. So it's a bit disjointed in my opinion. It's still ridiculous, still fun to read. Not as good in my opinion as the first one. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is... I've read the entire series. I've even read the edition that was written after his death. And the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is by far the best in the series. I think that part of the reason it is the best in the series is, in my mind, it has a much tighter narrative. And I could be wrong about that, but that is my perception of it, is that the narrative is much tighter. It has a better flow as far as the narrative goes and what's happening and when it's happening. And while it is ridiculous and hilarious, it because of that tighter narrative, it just has a better feel to it. Anyway, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed The Restaurant at the End of the Universe. Let me know what you thought. If you've read this, let me know what you thought. If you've read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and didn't realize that there were further books. Anyway, if you read the Restaurant at the End of the Universe, let me know your thoughts on it. What did you think of it compared to the others in the series? Are you disappointed that the restaurant, or that they haven't actually continued on with the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series? Personally, I think it could be good, but again, this one is so different, and the narrative is so different that I think that we wouldn't necessarily recognize it when, if it came to them filming actually the Restaurant at the End of the Universe. If you're interested, the BBC did a TV miniseries that goes from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, I think, all the way through the Restaurant at the End of the Universe. I don't know if it goes beyond that. And they've actually done a couple of series that are based on the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. This is the older series I'm talking about, not the newer one. Anyway, that's it for today. Like, subscribe, share, all that other stuff. Comment down below. And until next time, enjoy what you're reading.